Welcome, Transformers fans. My name is Composite EnerJoe, and today I'll be bringing you my reviews of the Transformers Prime Revenge of the Fallen Voyager class Grindor and the Transformers 2007 movie Deluxe class Scorponok. And here they are in their vehicle modes. And what vehicle modes they are? Let's talk. Let me get Scorponok out of the way. He's the simplest one to describe. He is a robotic scorpion. That's it. Don't need anything else. Nothing much to it. Lots amounts of detail. I love all these little extra texts. Decepticon symbol. Just nice, like a lot of detail and very movie accurate. I am just super in awe by how well this looks. The only thing is that they have this big piece on the tail, but that's to do his gimmick, which I'll do, his feature that I can do, I'll mention later. But in terms of, like, if you just ignoring that, it's a very movie accurate sculpt of Scorponok from the first movie. And in the second movie, because he does show up in the second movie for a moment, you know, right before he gets killed by well, not before, like he shows up, yeah, before he gets killed by Jetfire. And then we have here is Grindor from Revenge of the Fallen, who is basically both in the character and in the figure a straight repaint of Blackout from the first movie, who was partners with Scorponok. And because of that, that's the only reason why I'm reviewing these two together, because these two, as far as I know, they don't really know each other. They've never met, as far as I know. And so then here's Grindor in his very cool and very accurate vehicle mode, which is an MH-53 Pavlo helicopter. I would say a slightly modified, because I think the real thing doesn't have this compartment thing here, which if when you press this button, opens a compartment and drops what was originally supposed to be here. And as you can clearly see, my Grindor is incomplete. I got this second hand. It was a pretty good deal on it, so I got it. It's more or less complete-ish. What it's missing is, well, obviously it's missing 2 propeller blades, which is unfortunate, but 4 is better than none. And then it's also missing the tiny black Scorponok that comes in here. Because it was a straight repaint, they just ended up reusing the tiny Scorponok that came with the movie 1 Blackout. And they just gave it to him. What was cool is that, I'll explain later more about that, why it's cool that they made it a black repaint Scorponok instead of the original one's sand color. Get to more detail later, and yeah, it's secondhand. You got some little bit of issues, but it's still more or less pretty good shape for what it is. And like I said, I did get a pretty good deal on it. And some other stuff are also missing, some panels here and there. I think there's supposed to be something here that's also missing. A couple things missing. The machine gun that goes here is also missing. And yes, it is unfortunate. I am ashamed of myself for reviewing such an incomplete figure. And only that, the Scorponok is also it has one of its internal mechanisms broken. Which I'll just go into detail later when I'm talking about them. But yeah, I am ashamed that I'm pretty much reviewing broken toys. Well, not broken. This one's broken, and this one's incredibly incomplete. But I have them. This is what I have. I might have some plans of like getting the extra pieces and like actually completing Grindor here. But that's for a future. They may make an update on that. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Grindor here. So Grindor and movie 1 Scorponok. Grindor, like I said, is just a straight repaint of the original Blackout, both the character and the figure. And I'd like to think that Grindor, even though I think I read somewhere that he's not related to Blackout, I like to think that they're actually twin brothers. That after what happened with Blackout, Grindor, you know, came straight to Earth to join Megatron to, you know, get revenge for the death of his brother. Kind of like Dreadwing and Skyquake from Transformers Prime. I just like to think that. Because I think that's a pretty cool idea. So there's Grindor, who ended up taking the same form as his brother, what I'm calling his brother, the MH-53 Pavlo helicopter. And yeah, so let's get to transforming him really quick. Oh, I may as well do his gimmicks. He does have one, well, not a gimmick, it's a really cool feature, where if you push back this little thing, this sort of, I don't even know what to call it, a switch, when you push it, and keep pushing it, it causes the main propeller to spin, and it's very nice. It's a very nice spin. Yeah, you just keep going. It's very well done. And then you have the back propeller, who just well, I think it's called the stabilizer propeller. You just flick it because it spins freely, and that's it. Oh, and I did mention that this is very, very accurate to the real world vehicle, which is very nice and movie accurate as well. Like I said, I am missing some panels, which I hate that I'm missing panels. He does have some actual wheeled landing gear right here. And I think, I'm just going to assume that this right here was supposed to be the landing gear, but the wheel is missing. Yeah, it stings, but this is my Grindor. And I love him as he is anyway. I may try and fix him up later down the line, but we'll have to wait and see for that. So, let's get on to transformation. Both of these guys have simple transformation. Yes, even Scorponok, Scorponok has a transformation. You'll see that bad boy soon. But let's get to him first. His transformation, well, because this thing wants to really, really separate so much, let's get on with it. First, we start off by actually lining this, taking this compartment, taking it there, pulling it out, and spinning it. Oh, wait, before that, there's actually one gimmick between these two characters, which was, it was there for the movie 1 Blackout. It was there for the Voyager Blackout, which was meant for this one, where if you spin them over, well, no, take the tail, rotate it down like this. See these two pegs and this. What you're supposed to do is connect these pegs. Well, you can't really see it. These pegs, plug them into here, and then plug this like this. Let me show it. This plugs onto this. And the idea was, when you do this, because like I said, because I think the first time I tried this, I ended up accidentally breaking Scorponok's internals. Like, you combine it like this, so there you have this this combination. Which I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks pretty cool. What's supposed to happen is that when you spin the main propeller, spin the propeller by pushing this, like, it won't do it. It won't do it because I said it's busted. The idea, when you spin it, it's supposed to cause the claws to spin in conjunction with the propeller. That's what's supposed to happen, and it's a pretty neat little gimmick. It's a cool little feature because in the in the first movie, Scorponok and Blackout worked together, which also explains why the Voyagers, both this one and the original Blackout, had a tinier Scorponok that was in this compartment. So it's neat that you have these two figures that are able to sort of work together. But yeah, and how his mechanic is supposed to work is that you see these wheels here. When you spin these wheels on like a surface, it's supposed to cause this internal mechanism to spin and cause the claws to spin, which was a really cool, gimmick before it broke. In fact, wait a minute. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's the idea. I can still do it by spinning the internal thing. So something like connected here either broke or like got disconnected, because this piece also turns when this moves. And yeah, and I might as well mention it. Here's the other thing that Scorponok can do. When you press this switch, causes this stinger to come flying forward, which is kind of cool. And it's a nice rubbery tip, so it's cool. And that's pretty much it with the gimmicks of these two. That's it for their vehicle mode, for their beast mode and vehicle mode. Their alt mode gimmicks are out of the way. Let's get to transformation. So first, you come back here, separate this, bring it around, bring it up and around, and plug it into there. Go plug it into there to get it out of the way. Then for this part, you take the propellers and bend them down. Turn them down like so. Then you come down here, take this piece. And this actually does have an automorph, but I could never really get it to work. Well, you come in here, take this out. There is supposed to be an automorph here. You separate these pieces, like open them up a bit. It's like you're supposed to like collapse this entire thing. Let me, because he's getting pretty tall. So you collapse him in. How was this? Come on. Well, whatever. I know there's an automorph in here somewhere, but now I don't remember how to pull it off. So yeah, you just sort of turn this around like so to reveal the head. Push this forward, and it'll click into place. Rotate the waist. There you go. And then what you're supposed to do is line up this peg goes onto this back slot. So you just collapse this entire thing until you peg it into play. Oh no, you peg it into one even further back. Yeah, you peg it into this one, my bad. So you collapse it and peg it into, and avoid breaking it off. But the idea is that, yeah, there. Peg it into, come on, come on. There we go. Rinse and repeat on this side. Remember, peg it on the furthest back slot here. Yeah, like that. Being difficult here. There we go. And there we go. Just gotta line it up. Okay. Got that part out of the way. Now, for the arms, you just come over here. Flip them out. Rotate. Pull out. And also take this little piece and flip it back. I'm guessing that was supposed to be a panel there to cover the hands in his vehicle mode. And same thing over here. Out. Turn there. And then for this, what was it? Oh yeah, over here. Fold it down. And boom, we have the arms ready to go. For the feet, just fold out. Rotate forward, fold out. If you really want to, you pull this little piece out, sort of give an effect. And then you come back here. Get your finger in there, or oh, there we go. Take it in there. Then get your finger in there. And pull out his heel and bring it down. Heel, bring it down. And that's pretty much it. The next thing you can do is you take this, rotate it forward to reveal some rockets here that he can fire. Same thing here. Rotate it. And there is some rockets there. And there we go. And yes, I'm also missing this other flap on this side. Yeah, I'm missing bunch of things. And yeah, that is Grindor in his robot mode, which looks really, really cool. Check out the head sculpt. Very nice, very vicious. I don't think it's 100% accurate, but it's very nice. And he does have some really nice red light piping. So yeah, that is him in his vehicle mode. He does have a weapon. Outside of, you know, these guns and more guns. He does have another weapon, and that's in this piece that can actually separate. The entire propeller thing, you can pop off via this connection. Pop it off, and then it actually shrinks him down quite a bit. I think compared to the other movie Voyagers of his line, he's actually kind of small. Like, yeah, he's like slightly bigger than a regular Deluxe. Then you have this thing. Which, in order to make it a weapon, it's kind of weird, but it's an option. You fold this, open the propeller, and the idea, and I'm only going to show this once because it's kind of lame, because I would have liked something more akin to how he has it in the movie, where, okay, you fold this for clearance, peg this here, then have his hand hold this weapon. Or I think it's supposed to be on the other side, yeah. You're supposed to peg this on this side, like so, or whatever. The idea is that he's supposed to be holding it like this. Propeller open, propeller's open, like that. He holds it with this hand. It's not particularly good, but it's a thing. And then when you hit the switch back here, he now has a propeller shield weapon. Funny enough, I actually own other figures that can do a gimmick like this, that has something similar to this, but can honestly, I think, do it better. I think I like that you're able to remove this entire piece off, and then you have a slimmer figure, a more flexible figure. But yeah, might as well, since I have that off, I might as well show off his articulation. Articulation can go forward and back. Arm can theoretically go 360, if not for all of this. Let's see, rotation there, a little bit of in and out. Elbow and then up and down on the wrist. Head can swivel. Waist can swivel. Legs can do an amazing kick. He has got quite articulation there. He's got like double hinges here out. all around, and a really good knee and rotation at the knee. So yeah, he's got articulation. I'm doing something. There's like something wrong here. Wait, there we go. Just something misaligned. But there you go. That's him. So let's reattach this, because I think he looks better with the extra bulk. I like the thing that he can just peel this off. There we go. Oh, and I mentioned the funny thing about he's actually one of the smaller Voyagers. It's just a bit ironic because in the movie, both Grindor and Blackout in the movies were actually some of the bigger Transformers. In the first movie, Blackout I think was the largest of the Decepticons in the first movie. So yeah, that's Blackout. That's Grindor. That's Grindor. Let me put him off to the side because he seems to be leaning that way. There we go. There we go. So let's get on to Scorponok. I already mentioned his gimmicks and all of his stuff. So what can Scorponok turn into? I'll show you. Here's what you do. You stand him up. Separate these legs. Fold them down. Fold this up a little bit if you want. Leg, fold down. Adjust the arms forward and then fold the face forward. Yup. This is Scorponok in his robot mode. And wow, that is lame. That is just wow. That's sad because we never actually saw Scorponok transform into his robot mode if he even has one. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't really have a robot mode. And yeah, this is lame. However, once again, they did a fantastic job on the Scorpion mode that it feels like they intentionally did this like this on purpose as like a joke. And because to be honest, you're really getting this figure for his Scorpion mode, not for his really bad robot mode. However, there is a third mode. I've seen people have this sort of a fan mode that I like, this like a monster form, which I kind of like. What you're supposed to do, and this is another thing you can do, you can open up, if you line it up with these notches, you can open up his claws, and this is supposed to replicate him shooting his missiles out of his claws. Oh, plus Scorponok here is one big homage to the original Beast War Scorponok, which is really cool. Alright, here's what you do. Here's the third fan mode, which I actually prefer over the official mode. What we're supposed to do is open the claws up and have them like that, then turn them upside down. They're supposed to work as legs. And the face, I think it'd be better if you have it folded back for clearance. So you have that, put what are his legs now become arms, and then his scorpion tail, because if you notice that it looks like he has eyes and this is the mouth, this is a head. So now you have what I like to call his monster form. And to be honest, this looks a lot better. Plus, the head has a lot, now with this tail neck, you have a wide range of movements. You have this here. Oh, and for articulation, it's this, for his legs, I'm just going to say it here because I prefer this mode. Well, no, I prefer the scorpion mode, but I prefer this fan mode as his third mode. As his alt mode. Plus, tack still works. So yeah, just I guess mention if you like this or the official mode. I actually really prefer this. This looks a lot more threatening because it looks like a monster form. Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention it. The arms. Oh, I'll mention it now with articulation. Articulation in this mode, his monster mode, is a lot more than in his official robot mode. I'm not even bothering with that. Articulation, the tail, which is the same in Scorpion mode, minus these parts. Tail can go 360. There's a hinge here. There's hinge here, and hinge here. And rotation there, and another rotation here. A swivel there. And up and down on the actual tail, plus the weapon can shoot. And like I said, can go side to side. There are ball joints here, so ball joints do what ball joints do. Plus, there is a bend here, like a reverse elbow or his knee. And each individual scorpion leg actually is on a ball joint, which is kind of neat. So you have some, it's limited, but it's there. It's a ball joint. You can do it. Now for his scorpion arms / the monster mode legs, he can go out like that far, so he can do a great kick. And forward and back. Can go through full 360 all the way and whatnot. And there is a bend here, which is also an elbow or a knee, depending on what you're looking at. And there we go. This is him in his monster mode, which I prefer a whole lot more. And I think I like the idea of having, oh, he goes from beast mode to robot mode. And I think I've been on these transformations too long. Let me transform back into Scorpion because that's the mode I like him in. So, and that's it. It's a super easy transformation. Both even to the fan mode, which is just flipping him on his side. So then you have Scorponok. Let's get into his drill arms. I'll pick up Grindor later. Okay, and that's it. That's Grindor and Scorponok. And yes, even though these two did not meet, at least we don't know if they know each other in the movies, since Scorponok does show up in Revenge of the Fallen. So yeah, Grindor and Scorponok, both I think are great figures. I kind of wish he had more of a transformation. They did a little bit more in his transformation. Like basically, I would like the propeller to transform a different way. But however, I do like how he looks, and I like his transformation. It's nice and sweet. I would have liked if this one was more complete, but that is my fault, not the figure's fault. Solid figure all around. I would have liked if he was a tiny bit bigger, like less. Or I wish that the entire propeller gimmick wasn't dedicated to such a huge chunk of the figure. I would have liked if maybe it would have been a smaller part of it or something. Scorponok, fantastic beast mode. You definitely get this figure for the beast mode, not for its robot mode. But like I said, I do like the fan monster mode. That I actually do like. But I'm gonna display him in his Scorpion mode because that's the mode he's supposed to be in. So yeah, both figures very solid. Nice, solid, and I recommend both of them, especially if you're fans of the movies. It is weird that I'm doing both of these, but like I said, I don't have Blackout, I have Grindor, and I have Movie 1 Scorponok instead of even the soccer one. Now, some facts. Grindor, I already mentioned, is a repaint of Blackout, of the Movie 1 Voyager Blackout. Now, that Blackout, aside from Grindor, that Blackout was repainted and slightly retooled into the Movie 1 Voyager Evac, who had a different head, hands, and instead of a tiny Scorponok, came with a wrap that turned into a gun, but it was essentially the same figure. That even this Scorponok, you can still do the Scorponok gimmick with evac. And then that evac had a straight repaint into the Revenge of the Fallen's world. Same exact thing, just blue instead of orange. And Scorponok here actually did get one repaint in Revenge of the Fallen, which was a black and red, with a black with red, with like a couple of red accents, which made it look strikingly similar to the original Beast Wars Scorponok in terms of like the color scheme, because the original figure was black with red accents. So that repaint was called the Stalker Scorponok, which was, if I had it, would have been the black tiny Scorponok that came with Grindor, which I don't have. So that's pretty much it. Not bad. That's it. Both solid figures, and yeah, I recommend them both. I would say I would recommend more instead of doing what I did. I would recommend in this case either getting Grindor and Stalker Scorponok so that it matches more, or get Movie Blackout with this Scorponok. And that's about it. Both are pretty solid figures. Highly recommend them. Not bad. They get my seal of approval. Why not? And that's about it. This has been my review of the Transformers 2007 Movie 1 Deluxe Class Scorponok and Revenge of the Fallen Voyager Class Grindor. This is Composite EnerJoe signing off. Peace out.